Hey everybody, in 2019, I took advice from a mentor of a new approach to vision boards. Before this, I haven't had much success with vision boards, but I knew this time was different because I set a 6-month goal and I was able to accomplish that in 3 weeks. Let's talk about how exactly I did that and the techniques that you need to be able to reinvent your vision boards for this year. Let's go. I'm Corey Yelm and welcome back to Spark a New Change, a channel where we talk about small changes and typical techniques that you can be able to implement to make a change in your life and others. Now today we're going to answer some questions such as, do vision boards actually work? Can you accomplish a goal that you previously thought was impossible? And can you actually change the trajectory of your life, your marriage, your career, or your dreams? That's really what I want to dive into. So typically what I see is people will create what they call a vision board, but it's actually maybe a dream board that they maybe occasionally glance at throughout the year. The problem with this is that it's a very passive way of being able to go about your dreams as opposed to an active approach. Today we're going to talk specifics about what it means to be active and why that is so critically important to the success of your board that you actually spend all the time to be able to create. One of the reasons it has to be active is you have to be able to show and prove to the brain what is your priority, but more importantly, you're basically focusing the brains on what is specific that you want to be thinking about throughout your day and your week. So if you passively look at your dream board, your brain is also passively thinking about it and not actively pursuing what you actually want to be on. So one of the most common things people hear about is called the reticular activating system, or the RAS. It's a part in your brain that when your eye sees something, it recognizes and registers as important to you. What people refer to most often for this is when you're shopping for a new car. You look at that car and you're really excited about it. You might be researching online, but because of the imagery and how often you're spending time on that, your brain is starting to recognize that that's a priority to you. So suddenly while you're driving around in your neighborhood and throughout the town, you're now recognizing and seeing that car more often everywhere you're going. It wasn't that there was more cars all of a sudden in a week's time frame that people bought those cars. It's that you now are noticing it more often. The point is you're trying to train your brain to be able to show what is priority and what is not. So the last thing we're going to talk about is, as you're carrying out these steps that we're going to talk about next, you're going to hear things in your head, what we like to call that back talk or smack talk, or the negative voices that you might hear. It's going to try to tear you down. It's going to say, you can't do this. Nobody's doing it that way. Or that's a big doubt. You're not capable. You're not enough. And what I want to say is, ignore that voice. If you learn nothing else from this video, just learn this. A vision board is there to create hope. Unsubscribe from the tribe of give up, and instead focus on what you can do and focus on what is possible and try out what we're going to talk about next. So let's talk about what those 5 steps are. Step 1, you want to frame your area to create a focus space, something that is highly respected, and that whatever is going to go in that space. That frame can be as simple as putting tape on the wall. You can get some crafty tape or painter's tape even, or it could be a poster board or a cork board, or you could even put it on your phone. The point is there's 4 sides in a rectangular or square shape. It just needs to be a frame so that you can focus on exactly what it is you want to do. If you're using tape or some type of board, you want to make sure that you're putting it on the wall about chin height to the middle of that object. The reason for that is you're going to be able to look at the board without straining your head or neck or creating any kind of distraction with your body. You want to be able to just make it easy for your eyes to focus in on the topic. Step 2, you want to pick a goal of something you want to focus on. You want to keep this limited though to only 1 to 3 goals based off of your ability to focus and remove distraction. See, if you have a hard time focusing or if you are really easily distracted, I would recommend starting with 1 thing. If you also don't really believe this is going to work, start with 1 thing and make that a short-term goal, not long-term. But you can have short-term and long-term goals in your vision board. But again, keep it limited so that you can show your brain a priority. As you grow in your experience in this and your ability to be able to focus, you can be able to add more things to your vision board. But for the beginning and the start, let's start small and maintain that deliberate focus on a few things. Step 3, you need to have imagery and words to be able to unlock both sides of the brain. With imagery, you'll be able to find a picture. We've talked in length about the visualization exercise and process in the previous video you can find here. But let's talk about really short what this looks like. Find a picture of something that represents your goal, and you're going to place that picture right in the middle of your vision board. Now that picture, you're going to look at the detail of it, you're going to take in all of it you can see, and that's going to unlock the right side of the brain, the creative side of the brain. Now the left side of the brain is going to be unlocked through words and logic. Now specifically you do that through adding a description underneath that picture. Put the words that describe it so that you can be able to take that into account while you're looking at your vision board through the exercise. Now the whole point and perspective of this is that you are training the brain to actually have a real experience. You want the brain to believe that this has happened already and that it's now a memory. It's so real to the brain that it's already happened. So it's already created the experience, and it's creating ideas about how to relive that experience and reimagine what it would be like to be there. All right, step 4, invest time into this. Now, typically you want to do no less than 3 minutes a day on your vision board, at least twice a day. Now, ideally, you would be doing 10 minutes a day, twice a day, first thing in the morning when you wake up and right before you go to bed. Think of it this way, if imagery is the key to unlocking the power of the brain, then consistency is the key to unlocking results. Consistency is the key. It is what unlocks all of the magic behind what you're doing on a regular, consistent basis. If you're not consistent, you will flat out not see results. That's the point. Now, this is very important to hear. Hold on to your belief. Hold on to that, because you're going to have times where you're going to say, man, it still hasn't happened yet. But keep going. Keep doing the exercise morning and night, every day consistently until it happens, because it will. I promise you that. If it doesn't exist yet and we work toward it, that's called faith. And faith is a power that you can be able to do amazing things with. Okay, step 5, record and act. This is actually really important, because as you do these steps, you're going to have ideas that are going to start flowing into your head. With those ideas, you want to be able to record them on a piece of paper. Record every idea, even if it's ridiculous. Even if it says, I should go rob my neighbor. Don't do that, but write it down anyway. Because later on in another exercise, we'll talk about crossing out the bad ideas. But the point is write down every idea, because things are going to be flowing about how you can achieve the result, the goal that you have on your vision board. And you're going to start prioritizing and associating those later down the road. These ideas are key, because even if it's not related directly to what your goal is, the point is that your mind is starting to get into action mode. It's starting to think about what's possible. And you don't want to stop that flow. You don't want to say, oh no, that's not important, because you're going to turn off the action mode in your brain. Instead, keep those ideas flowing. And next is act on the ideas, even if some of them seem ridiculous. There's an example of somebody I knew who's trying to grow her business, and one of her ideas that came to her off of a vision board was go work in your garden. I mean, that had nothing to do with her business, but she decided, okay, I'll go work in my garden. Now, that doesn't give you an excuse to say, oh, I'm going to go binge watch Netflix. That's not the point. The point is that she, as she was going through her vision board exercise, found that she needed to work in her garden. And she came back an hour later after working in her garden to 3 messages of people who wanted to purchase her product. The point is that there are things in the universe that are driving you to be able to accomplish many different tasks. And if you listen to those promptings and those voices, those are the things that are going to help unlock the next idea. And that idea might be what makes the game changer for you. As you act on the small things that come to you, the small ideas, it's the next idea, or maybe the one after that, that is going to be the major idea, the breakthrough idea. But you won't get there and if you don't allow your brain to be able to continue to act and move towards that. That is what people usually miss, because they'll do this exercise and they'll say, why do I gotta do that? Well, you do that because that's the idea that came to you. And maybe halfway through that idea, you don't even complete it. You've already got the next idea that is going to make you achieve your goal. So let's see how simple it is to put this all together. And let's talk about how I did it in my goal. Now, what I did is I basically found that I didn't have a lot of time, but I invested the amount of time in the morning and the night every day, just like I taught. So I knew that I was producing about 1,000 a month in sales, and I wanted to grow that to 10,000 a month. The average time that somebody might take to do that would be about 3 to 6 months. And I knew that from being in this industry of what I am. But I set the goal to be ridiculously outside of my comfort zone. And then as I did that, I then spent 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night. I'd set a timer on my phone and I would say, all right, until that timer goes off, I'm looking at the picture that I have in my space. I had a rectangular shape on my wall, and I had a picture right in the middle of it of what I wanted to achieve. And then as I did the visualization exercise that I taught in the previous video, where I would look at that picture and I would take in all the detail and I put myself there as if it was real and the experience had already happened. And I did this every day for 3 weeks. And the result is that I had new ideas and new people come to me every day, things that I never thought about before, or people that I had forgotten about. And these are things that I knew was a new level of my brain that I was unlocking that I'd never ever experienced before. And that is what my experience was. In what normally, again, an average person would take a long time to do, I achieved in such a short amount of time because I was consistently doing the exercise steps every single day. Now, since then, I've been able to accomplish other things just like that. That's just a personal example of my life. But I know that you are able to do that. I know that it's possible for you to unlock those types of things. Because honestly, when it breaks down to it, to be successful, it's the things that are easy to do that are also easy not to do that separates those that are successful from those that are average. So that's how simple it is. I'm super excited to continue to training you on these things. I love teaching people about how they can be able to improve their lives and crush their goals. Go and take these steps. Give me some feedback in the comments below. Let me know the experience you've had or something new that you learned. Look forward to teaching you in the next video. Take care. This is it. This is the one. Okay. We rolling? Okay, hi. Nice.